Welcome to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. Tension has gripped our country this night after the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagwa issued a statement that is tantamount to either arresting Raila Odinga or trying to assassinate him. Rigathi Gachagwa gave a warning to the young men, the youths who go to attend Raila's demonstrations, and they warned Raila Odinga. Listen to what he said.
They can continue causing havoc and mayhem for as long as he wants. But I want to assure the people of Kenya today from Kakamega, tomorrow, nobody, I repeat, nobody will be allowed to destroy property anywhere in the Republic. I want to caution those young men who have been taking advantage of the violence unleashed by Raila to steal property, to mug people, to loot property, that Monday is their last day to do so. The laws of this country are clear. This is no longer demonstrations. This is post-election violence, mugging, theft, robbery, including robbery with violence. Those are felonies. If they care to look at the penal code, the consequences are extremely heavy. Monday, the government of the Republic of Kenya will assert its authority in protecting life and property and upholding the rule of law. I'm just giving that caution to those young people that it is not gonna be business as usual. It cannot happen, and it will not happen because it is wrong, it's immoral, it's unacceptable. I want to say, Raila Odinga, you are accusing the international community of abandoning you. You are out of order. Nobody has abandoned you. The international community have now known you. They did not know you. You have been exposed. The year before, they thought you are a Democrat. You are a human rights crusader. But the events of August 15 at Bomas of Kenya, where all the ambassadors were present, as the public portal was displayed, and they added the votes, and they were convinced that William Ruto won fair and square. The issues you are now raising, the international community has told you off.
I want us to look at reasons why the Azimio must take with caution and with seriousness that it deserves the warning from Rigathi Gachagwa. One, when Kimani Ichung'wah warned that they would send goons to take over private property, to be precise, the land that belongs to the former President Uhuru Kenyatta, all of us thought that those were mere talks. We thought the talks were hot air. But you saw goons invading Uhuru's property, cutting down trees, taking away animals, and later torched the land. So this tells you that when these people talk, they mean what they say. And recently, Kimani Ichung'wah said that even if you arrest Raila Odinga, nothing will happen. Of course, he needs to try that to see the result. Because I told you the other day that the Kenya Kwanza team is full of people who I believe are scientists. They want to test to see the results. And sometimes when you test, the result might not be very palatable. It can be too late. And so with the warning that Rigathi Gachagwa gave today, that on Monday, no one will be allowed to hold the demonstrations, that they will deal with them. Those sentiments, if you ask me, are geared towards people who have sat down and they have decided that they are either going to arrest or assassinate. There have been attempts before. In the last demonstrations, the government, through their police officers, fired 7 bullets at Raila Amolo Odinga's vehicle. And Raila says that had that vehicle not been a armored vehicle protected with bulletproofs, then it would be a different story. They attempted it and they now know. It seems they went for another meeting, a post-mortem of that Thursday demonstrations, and they know where to target now. And so with this, because there have been attempts before, these threats must not be taken lightly, and Azimio must be extra careful, because you never know. We might plunge this country into a complete political turmoil. We can go the Rwanda way. We have the international community that Rigathi Gachagua talked about very passionately, because in the past, Raila accused them of abandoning him, because when goons touched the former president's property, the international community never spoke about it. When they smashed Winnie Odinga's car and Raila Odinga's car, and they fired bullets into his convoy, the international community was loudly silent, and it forced the Azimio fraternity to accuse them of a kind of being in bed with the Kenya Kwanza government. And it seems that they are supporting this move. And I will tell you that why it will be very easy for the international community to support the arrest of Raila Amolo Odinga or his assassination. Raila Amolo Odinga has been a stumbling block to achieving 2 things. One is the genetically modified organism, the GMO. One of the deals that President William Ruto signed with the West and Europe is that we were going to import and start consuming the GMO in this country. But Raila Amolo Odinga has stood against it, claiming that we must have public participation, and there have been people saying that this is going to injure our farmers, and it's even being said that the GMO will kill our traditional seeds and we will become slaves to the USA. So they can just decide to eliminate him. I'm afraid, because the way Rigathi Gachagua was defending the international community, it seems that they have a deal and they can easily sanction or support these dirty moves. There are police officers who hate Raila with passion. I have heard them speaking that if they get an opportunity, they can eliminate him. You saw the picture of this notorious policeman who went and broke the windows of a journalist vehicle and fired live tear gas at close range, and they injured several of them. I'm telling you, this government is full of demonic acts. And you never know, because we understand that when some people organized with goons to go and invade Uhuru's property, there is another wing of the Kenya Kwanza team that did not know. In fact, today, from reliable sources, we understand that there is this team of Rigathi Gachagua, Kimani Ichung'wah, and Ndindi Nyoro, and there is another team that is led by the Interior Cabinet Secretary Kithure Kindiki. You all know that these are 2 people whose ideologies are wide apart like heavens and earth. While Kithure Kindiki still thinks of he's a legal mind, and he remembers how he represented William Samoei Ruto in The Hague, and is thinking of his future as a man who can still go back to the universities to teach, as a man who wants to cleanse his name. We have people in the government that don't listen to anything. As long as you are on their way, you must be cleared. So there could be an attempt by a certain wing of the government to order the police to try and assassinate Raila Amolo Odinga. And so they must be very, very careful. This government is losing over 2 billion Kenyan shillings. And with the economy that continues to cripple, this is something that is really injuring them, because they had promised that they would reduce the cost of living. They are unable to reduce the cost of living. Raila continues to remind the people that the cost of living must come down, and as he does that, business is closed because this administration is not even careful. They keep on barricading the CBD, thereby helping Raila to shut down the economy in the CBD. And while they have tried all the means to stop these demonstrations, trying to gag the media, the courts refused. Tried to interfere with the Uhuru's property, thinking that this would intimidate him. These things still continue. The only thing on their way could be to eliminate him so that business can go on. But do you think arresting or eliminating Raila Amolo Odinga would help the business thrive? Because if you ask me, it is the opposite. Today, the imagination that Raila has been apprehended or that he has been assassinated will plunge this country into economic turmoil, I can assure you. Because people like Kimani Chungwa, I don't know whether they live in slumberland. I mean, I don't know whether they dream in the middle of the day. Because if someone has the audacity of saying that even if you arrest Raila Odinga, nothing will happen, is this the only visitor in Jerusalem? What is happening? Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen. I want to repeat this. I told you I have a friend who is a Rwandese. He told me that in 1994, people spent a night a very peaceful country. The following day, within 30 minutes, they had lost 80,000 people. 80,000 heads had been beheaded. The difference between a peaceful country, a country that is enjoying peace and tranquility, and a country that is witnessing blood flowing like a river is just 1 second. That is the only difference. Just a second. It is so spontaneous that before you know it, you cannot believe this is your country. We have seen these things on CNN and Al Jazeera, but it seems that someone wants to try and experience. It will be too late for us. Azimio must be very careful, but I want to urge this government that whatever Raila Amolo Odinga is doing with the Azimio fraternity is entrenched within the constitution, and they made it clear to the international community that they want to conduct themselves within the law. If you identify someone who is breaking the law, arrest that person. If someone will breach the laws that govern demonstrations, then that person must be dealt with. Because I have always maintained on this platform that protection must be given, number one, to the security officers themselves. The life of the police officers must be protected. They are also brothers and sisters in this society. They are mothers and fathers, and therefore we want to advocate for the protection of their lives. Number two, those who are demonstrating must be protected from any external enemy. We don't need another group being propelled to come and counter those who are demonstrating peacefully. They need to be protected. And number three, those who are not going on with, those who don't go with to demonstrate, those who are going along with their businesses must also be protected. We don't need people to loot. If you get someone who, for example, is carrying maybe a border guy who is on his businesses trying to make ends meet, I feel, and this is just my personal opinion, that we should not interfere with such a person. We should leave each and every person to enjoy his or her democratic rights. By trying to intimidate people and threatening will only, make this situation become worse. And I therefore want to appeal, if there are any sober minds within the Kenya Kwanza government, don't go that direction. I'm telling you, we will maybe, if after the aftermath some of us will be alive, we will have a museum of millions of heads that have been butchered. We will be the Rwanda number 2. And so, ladies and gentlemen, let us be very cautious. I want to believe that maybe The deputy president was trying to scare away the youth not to go for their demonstrations. But from the past events where Kimani Ichung'wah threatened, and we thought it was just a scary tactics, and it happened, let us be on high alert. Raila Amolo Odinga once exposed a meeting that Rigathi Gachagwa and Ndindi Nyoro and Kimani Ichung'wah were officiating, and it was full of goons who are being sponsored to go and kill people in a Azimio rally. Let us be very careful. Let us be on high alert. I don't know what you think, ladies and gentlemen, but that is my take.